It's your girl Diamond Drip, bringing you the insights and strategy you need in 15 minutes or less. In today's episode, I'm going to be diving into human design. If you don't know what human design is, it's kind of like a cosmic personality test on steroids. It's a system that combines astrology, the I Ching, Kabbalah, the Hindu Brahmin chakra model, and quantum physics to create a unique design or blueprint of a person's life. It's all about understanding your true self, your strengths, your weaknesses, and your purpose in life. It's the thing that's had me buzzing for the past week and a half, and here's why. It has helped me understand so many parts of my personality, things that, I like, my interests, my just even start explaining it, I have to start telling you what they are. So let's jump into it. So there are 5 types of human design. Anytime that I share something, it's probably going to be about generators. Generators make up 70% of the population. When I found that out, I'm not gonna lie, the part of me that's like craving uniqueness, I was like, 70%, that seems like a lot. So there are other rarer kinds, but when I learned what a generator is, it made sense for me. So if you don't know, a generator in the human design theory is someone who gets really excited about things. The things that light them up, they give them this energy where they can just keep going and going and going. And most of the time, we're so filled with energy that it just spills out of us and into the people who are around us and the things that we do. And when I learned that this was what a generator was, this made complete sense for me. And being in the 70%, it was surprising, but it was something that I was able to accept easily because I'm like, if 70% of the people are like this, that's cool. When I started to learn more about the different facets of human design, which I will be exploring at least 2 of those in detail, and I'll just be listing off some of the others. It began to become clear to me how you can be a generator, but be totally different from the generator who is standing next to you. And so some of those have to do with the things that I'm about to talk about. When you look at human design and you're trying to understand yours, there are key components that make up the reading. So your energy type, so that's being a generator for me, your authority, so how you should best make decisions. For me, that's emotional authority. My profile or my personality is a 5-1. My strategy, which is how I make things happen, is by responding. Then there's my sign, which is how I know that I am on the right path, and that's satisfaction. My not self theme, otherwise known as how I feel when I'm doing things that aren't aligned for me, is frustrated. Then, of course, there are gifts. I use an app that lists off all of the different gifts and it goes into a description. I will link the app that I use in the show notes. But there's so much information that you can get from your human design. So I've already dived into the energy type of generator. I want to draw attention next to the profile part. Now, this is one of the key distinctions I've learned and what sets people apart in terms of being the same energy type. So, for example, I am a generator and I have the profile of 5-1. Dre, my daughter's father, has the profile of 4-6, if I'm not mistaken. And my daughter, who is a manifesting generator, has a profile of 5-2. Now, if you're new to this, I'm just throwing a bunch of numbers out at you. They make sense once you understand that there are 12 lines. And so these lines are kind of these archetypes. And so when you look at my type, which is a 5-1, it is the challenger, solver, or some people might refer to it as the liberator and the knowledge seeker. And basically, these numbers, how they correspond is your 5 is what people see you as outwardly. So in this case, the liberator personality type is someone who's seen to have solutions, to be able to lead you away from, frustration and things that don't, bring you joy. So like basically, if you're struggling with something, they've got something for you. And then on the inward, how I see myself is the investigator, the knowledge seeker. And when I learned that this was a part of my profile, it made sense to me why it is that I dive so deep and wholeheartedly into anything that I find interesting. Like right now, it's human design. I have probably learned more about human design in the past, I don't know, 6 days than most people have in their entire lifespan. And that's one of my gifts, because I go through these phases of going down these rabbit holes of consuming information. Right now, it's human design. Before, it was digital marketing. Then it was graphic design. And then, of course, when I first discovered mushrooms, I grew my own oyster mushrooms. I wanted to learn more than just the psychedelic piece. I wanted to learn more about mushrooms in general, how to grow them, like what can they heal. So I go into these spaces where I just consume information. And that's one of the reasons why the 5-1 profile pairs so well together, because not only are we able to consume lots of information and that not like bring us down and like drag us down, it actually energizes us, but we're able to, with the information that we've gathered, help people and show them different solutions and things that they haven't thought of before. It's a really cool combination, and learning more about it has been, and this brings me into why I'm talking about it on this episode, is because I believe every solo entrepreneur should know what their human design is. Because if you are a service-based solopreneur specifically, for me, my profit margins used to be based on products, because I used to have a product-based business. And so I would know how much I paid for it. I would throw my profit margins on top of that, and then boom, you have your costs. But when I turned to a service-based business and the profit margins grew from 20 to 30% to 80% and upwards, it was me that had the value, that I was placing the value on. My brain didn't know how to compute that. And so I am doing my own personal work with my value, but this has helped tremendously, because it gives me a way to understand some of the things that I kind of know are strengths about me, but to know that it's like divine purpose for me to have these set of gifts, for me to have this emotional authority where the things that light me up, the things that I put energy into, they turn into something great. And when I agree to do things that don't light me up because I'm just seeking the praise of others, which is a type of like conditioning that generators go through, and they have to break out of that programming, is that, people will ask you to do things because they know that you have this energy. But if you agree to it and it's not something that lights you up, then you don't bring the energy that makes it awesome. And so just understanding some of the reasons behind like my energy and my knowledge seeking, and why as generators, it's a kind of a known thing that people, they want to be around you and they don't really know why. And it used to like puzzle me as well. I was like, I don't know why. And now this is like, well, because you have this, this thing. For example, the app that I use, I believe it gives you 5 of your gifts for free. I've subscribed because I wanted to, again, consume all of the knowledge, because that's kind of what I do. But I believe the app that I use, it gives you your first 5 gifts for free. And so my unique gifts, I believe they list them in the order in which they show up. So gift number 5, marching to your own rhythm. Gift number 6, creating closeness with others. Gift number 7, natural integrity. Gift number 9, focus and precision. And then gift number 14, expanding the good in others' lives. When I learned what each of these meant by digging a little deeper, it gave me a way to talk about, and these are the app's words, not mine. It gave me a way to talk about my gifts in a way of how they inform my business in a way that didn't make me feel arrogant. Because as someone who struggles with value, I don't want to come off as like this person who's like this and that and this and that. And learning my human design gives me a way to, one, understand my gifts. Because it's one thing to know that you like researching things and for society to categorize that as being a nerd. And it's another thing to know that it's actually a gift how much you love to research and dive into things and how that helps you fulfill the purpose that you were put here to do. Like it's two different like dynamics of how you perceive this information. And so if you want to know what your human design is, because it will inform just how you understand how you help people, which will inform your branding, which will inform your marketing, which will inform the copywriting that you use when you are, putting yourself out there. Like, to know your human design is going to be a asset. And one of the beautiful things about human design is you just need your birth certificate. You just need to know what time you were born, where you were born, and of course, your birthday. And these things will just be calculated for you. I'll be linking a calculator in the show notes below if you're curious what yours is, but it's free. Unlike Myers-Briggs, unlike DISC, unlike Clifton Strengths, this is something that you have access to because it is your divine right. It is your divine purpose to know this information. So I hope that you found this episode helpful. If you want to talk about your human design, I am 100% opening up my calendar to welcome that in, because I am searching for projectors. So if you find out that you're a projector, please reach out to me, DM me. Show notes, my website that's in the show notes has all of my contact information. But that is it for this episode. Until the next one, my lovely.